Yo, what's up guys, my name is Severman. In today's video I'll be remaking the second drop of Hardwell's iconic track Apollo. Let's get straight into the video. Thanks to Styx for sponsoring this video. Today I'll be using their brand new Serum Pack Legacy. What makes this pack so special is that they rented a lot of iconic synthesizers and they sampled those wavetables from the analog synthesizers. So all these presets got that nice analog warm sound. Let me show you some of the presets. And I was playing around with the pack, I found this one. You can already hear it, right? It sounds a lot like the Apollo Hardwell lead. But besides lead presets, you got a lot of bass presets, drums, keys, pads, plugs, pianos. I will show the rest later on in the video. If you want to get the pack, check out the first link in the description. There's also a free Wavetable pack. So if you're a sound designer, if you want to do your own presets with wavetables, you can get the free Wavetables pack as well. But let's continue with the video. So I'm gonna start with recreating the melody. So the melody starts on an E, then G sharp, A.
2 minutes later.
Already sounding super close. And all these presets in this pack sound so fat, clean already, and they're ready to use, so you don't need to do a whole lot of layering. I'm just gonna look for maybe a second and a third one. Let's see what else we got. I like this one. I'm also gonna turn off reverb and delay. Then a third one. Maybe this one, a bit more plucky. Also here, turn off reverb and delay. Right, I'm gonna do some quick lead processing. First of all, I'm gonna set them all to a bus channel. So channel 1 is gonna be our bus channel. On the second lead, I wanna add a little bit of compression. I'm just gonna use OTT for this really quick. And then I also want to have this one on the side, so I'm gonna use a stereo enhancer. If you have a mono sound and you wanna make it wide, you can add some stereo delay, phase offset here, use this knob, and then usually I like to go for like around 15 milliseconds. Doesn't matter if you go left or right. But only do this on your support layers. You don't wanna do this on the main lead because else it's gonna disappear when you listen back on mono. Find the right volume. And this one. Sounds good. Now let's do some quick processing on the lead bus. So I always start off with a basic low and high cut just to define the range, to get rid of any unnecessary rumble or whatever. Then I'm gonna do a little bit more precise EQing. I feel like there's a little bit too much high end. So sometimes, let's go back to the other one. What I also like to do is adding a slight roll off here. This can make your sound a little bit softer, less harsh. Still feel like there's a little bit of harshness in the high end though. How I EQ my sound is, first I try to find the right frequency by boosting the frequency so that you hear what you're adjusting, and then bring it down. I feel like there's some harshness in here, and I'll bring it down. Just a little bit. And I also feel like the body part of the lead is a bit too present. This area. So I'm gonna bring that down a bit as well. That's sounding really good. Then I'm just gonna add a little bit of reverb. You know how I do this. I do it with the P controller. First set up the P controller. There we go. Then open up your Fruity Reverb 2 or whatever reverb plugin. I like to use this one. Always increase the low cut in order to clean up the reverb, because if you have too much lows in your reverb, it will tend to muddy up the mix as well. Also going to increase the high cut. Usually go for like 10k on the high cut. Decay time depends. I feel like there's not a whole lot of reverb on the original leads. Let me first of all set this to, or connect it with the P controller, set it to invert. Here it's important to set this to 20% because we'll make sure this doesn't go above 100%. And then with this one we can select how much sidechain we want. So now it's doing very little. If we increase this, it's doing more. With the decay you can smooth out that sidechain, make it a little bit less, slower basically. And then I also like to add a transpire, because especially Hardwell, he always has a compressor on his leads, which adds a lot of attack. You can achieve the same thing by using a transient shaper. It's gonna increase the punch, the transient of a sound, so we'll make it cut through the mix better most of the times. You can hear if I do it really extreme. Alright, this sounds good. And then we also want a little bit of sidechain. This can be personal preference, how much sidechain you want. There's quite a lot of sidechain in the original track. Maybe like that. Alright, so we got the leads done. Next up, I'm gonna do the bass line. Let's use this one maybe for the sub. Oh, that sounds so good. I'm gonna start with some sidechain here. It's not only a sub bass, it's one big bass here because I want to keep the mids and highs as well, but I'm just gonna maybe roll off the highs a little bit to make it a little bit less sharp. Yeah, something like that. Could try adding a little bit of OTT as well. Just make it a bit more bass focused. I'm gonna look for a second bass sound. I like this one as well. This one is a really cool mid bass. So since we have a sub bass now, we want to get rid of the sub frequencies in that one. And then there's really not a whole lot we need to do here processing wise at the sidechain. I'm gonna add this other one that we had. Was it this one? Gonna give this a go. Yeah, that's awesome. Now we obviously still need some chords. Let's maybe go with the keys preset. Not sure if this is the right sound, but I'm gonna use it to build the chords. Sounding pretty good, I would say. We might actually keep this preset. All right, let's set this to the separate channel. Also, you do your low and high cut. With chords, sometimes you have a lot of information in your lower mids, because that's where all the, the notes are sitting in, the root notes. So what I sometimes do is I bring down that low mid area a little bit. Like that. And let me try to play around with the stereo enhancer. Yeah, that's nice. Sidechain. Let's see if we can find a couple more chord layers to spice it up a little bit. This might work. Let's make it more sustained. There's some, I don't like the release on this one, I'm gonna bring it down. Right, so we got our bass line, we got the chords, we got the leads. What's missing? Drums. A couple years ago I sampled Hardwell's Echo kick, and his older tracks, he always had a very distinct sound in his kick, because it was the top kick, I would say, that has this special sound, the special click. right? This just sounds like Hardwell. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna shorten the kick a little bit. And then you also have some type of double hit here. On this kick, I'm gonna add a compressor, and then there's not really anything else we're gonna need to add, just to make it a little bit more snappy. For the compressor, what I like to do is bring down threshold a lot so you hear what you're doing, then play around with the attack and release and the ratio. Now bring up the threshold again. And then we need a nice groovy pre-shifted clap on every second kick on the second half of the drop. Maybe this one is from the Wavetables Pack. Then we need some heads, shakers. I found this loop. Instead of using the entire loop, we can only use the hi-hat here and then loop up the hi-hat. One thing we can add to the clap though is maybe a little bit of reverb. Make sure you use a short decay time on this. Alright, and then we need a crash as well. I found those three, they sound like that. First one, second one, then the third one is way longer, as you can see. Add them here as well. I think the leads could maybe use a little bit more compression. OTT always works. Can't go wrong with OTT. Put it in front of the reverb. Alright, so I would say we got the drop pretty accurate right now. Let's check out the result. If you want to grab the pack, check out the first link in the description, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Let's go.